What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another NBA player props, prize picks, picks props, player prize, player prop, prize picks live stream. It is me, Chavez. I am back. We are back with yet another live stream. I hope everybody's doing well this morning. It is the first of the month. Very tempted to throw a Bone Thugs and Harmony gif up there, but I decided to not get that corny to kick things off in a brand new month. But February 1st is upon us. Happy February to all. Hope this finds you doing well and in good spirits. Let's go ahead and get this dancing lamb out of here. Boom. I think we got to name that lamb. I'm thinking Bo. We got to name the lamb Bo. Lambo. Dad joke. All right, we got some games to talk about today. Not very many, but as long as we have at least two on the slate, there's always something to break down. I don't think we'll ever get to the point. Hopefully, we never get to the point where there's just one NBA game. That'll be kind of all-star game not included, but 4 games, enough to talk about. So let's get this going. Got Jordan Clarkson on the screen. I got a problem this morning. I got a real problem this morning. I'm liking way too many Utah Jazz player props. And I don't know if that's a bad thing or a good thing. Sounds like a bad thing. And I'm not just talking about Colin Sexton. I'm talking about like their whole team. Find them in really good spots today versus the undermanned 76ers with Joel Embiid out and Tyrese Maxey's questionable. I don't think he plays though. So I don't know what to think about that game, to be honest. Got the coffee going on. Let's get this going. Let's hop in the chat and let's see what's popping in the chat. Divine, good morning to you. Toy Story Andy, good morning. We got Landon Adams, good morning. Hey, Jesus, good morning. Fam Man, good morning. Big Icy, good morning. Vu, Jim the Judge, good morning to you, sir. Salute, blessings to you. All right. What we got going on so far? We got Divine, what did you say? Demon KD and Cam Johnson, I called it. Need my respect. Yo, I wasn't on KD's demon props, but I did like Cam Johnson's demon prop. We talked about it yesterday. It was way too low, man. Like I think 14.5 was his demon prop. I mean, that feels like a normal line for him. I'm glad he hit. I did have him in a slip. But yeah, you called it, man. You called it. No doubt. No doubt. Landon says he's feeling Holiday PRA over Sexton PA, Laurie RA, and why? Okay, there it is. Derek White RA. A lot of Celtics in play. Let's get to some injury news. While I'm going through the chat and reading all your comments, let's throw some injury news up on the screen. And let me go ahead and remove that so y'all can actually see it. So we do know Joel Embiid's out. We know Julius Randle's out with that dislocated shoulder, and Zaire Williams is out. That's one less player for the Memphis Grizzlies tonight, taking on the Cleveland Cavaliers. You have Halliburton, who's questionable. I believe he plays, but he's on a strict minute restriction. He only played 22 minutes last game in a very close game versus the Celtics, and they needed him. I think if he was on the floor if he closed out that game, it's possible the Indiana Pacers would have taken that to overtime or actually won in regulation. So they're not messing around with this guy. They mean it. So he played 22 minutes. I don't know what his minutes are today, but he's questionable. If he does play, the lines have already been adjusted. When he came back last week, he had full game props, normal props, and you took the under on some of those. You weighed out well. This time the books have caught on to that, and they're propping him very, very low. It's very tempting to take some of these overs for Tyrese Halliburton, but just keep in mind it's a bum ass game versus the Knicks, man. This is should be a slow kind of game. I don't think they keep him in this game if they don't need him in this game, risk further injury. So just keep your eye on that. Davis and LeBron are questionable. If one of these guys sits, does this game in Boston get out of hand? We know Maxi's questionable, Matherin's questionable, McConnell's questionable, Jalen Smith. You have a lot of Indiana Pacers on this list that are questionable. OG's questionable, Quentin Grimes, 2 more New York Knicks that are questionable, Cornette, John Conchar, and Nick Batum. So with only 4 games on the docket today, we're in the court. With only 4 games on the schedule today, all these injuries mean even more because there's not that many, some of these teams, they're just not left with a whole lot of bodies. So it could open up some value, or it could cause some of these lines to bump up. Either way, let's see if we can find some edge in the player prop industry, see if we can find some good plays today. All right. Good morning, Shy. Yeah, Embiid's out. Embiid is out. I don't know how long he's going to be out. He flops a lot and he exaggerates his injuries, but I don't know if you watched that game. That one did look pretty nasty. I think Kuminga fell on his knee. It looked like he hyperextended it. That shit hurts, man. I've hyperextended my knee just like running up a hill. I can't imagine what that feels like when a grown-ass man falls on your leg. So luckily he was sitting down, so his knee couldn't extend too bad, but like that didn't look good at all for him. So he might be out for an extended period of time. They might have to put that MVP shit on the back burner for him this year. If they really want to make a run in the playoffs, they can't be having him hobbled out there. Queen, what's going on? Good morning. Ramo, good morning. All right. All right. Super, good morning. What's going on? Oh, yeah, man. I read your props yesterday. Listen, I'm never the one to like take people's credit. Like if somebody has a good play, I won't throw that in like a video and be like, oh, I came up with this play. Definitely try to give credit. And we're on live stream, so I'm definitely not trying to take anybody's play, but you called it, man. All I was saying is I was also on Cam Johnson yesterday. That demon point prop was too good, man. So I'm glad it worked out, though. I'm glad it worked out. The only demon play that I played yesterday that didn't work out, I took the over Terry Rozier 3-pointers. He was ice cold, man. That dude missed like everything. He made one shot. It was 1-3, and that was it. I had Jordan Poole 3-pointers in my slip, and that didn't go through because he had a DNP, late minute scratch. So that's how it goes in the NBA. These last minute cancellations or these last minute scratches they're a game changer. Game changer. But I will say, Divine, I think we can go back to your Trae Young call. That was a couple weeks ago where we were looking at his projections. And I think that's kind of where it started, man. I think it's kind of where it started. So you're on a roll, dude. Keep it going. Deontay, what's going on? Good morning. He said I did first quarter plays yesterday and kill it. Yeah, man. Deontay, are you in the Discord? Did you post your slip in the Discord? There was someone who posted their slip in the Discord all first quarter plays. I don't know if that was you or not, but yeah, you swept it, man. 6 for 6, 25x'd it. Nice play, man. Eureka, what's going on? Welcome in. All right, let's get this going. Ladies and gentlemen, gamblers of all ages. Let's pop on over to PrizePicks. I finally got my PrizePicks up and going yesterday. So figured out what the problem was. It was my cache was full, my cache was full or whatever. So that was the issue. Hold on. Let me properly introduce this next segment. NBA plays for today, February 1st, 2024. Let's get it going, everybody. I created this slide. I need to at least present it. All right, here we go. We're talking prize picks today. We can talk underdog today. We can talk jock market today. We can talk sleeper today. We can talk whatever you want to talk about. If we need a little extra assistance, we can pop on over to the Odd Shopper Pick'ems table where we can look at value across the board. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be prize picks. So you just let me know what plays are standing out to you, regardless of the player prop site. And we'll see if we can get some deeper dives going on with these player props today. But we're going to kick things off over on prize picks per usual. I do have a few plays that I put up on the board as of this morning. Like I mentioned, I am really looking at a lot of Utah Jazz player props. Jordan Clarkson 3-pointers, Lauri Markkanen 10.5 rebounds and assists. Mobley first half points at 4.5. Jaren Jackson under his points. Tough matchup for him. I know Vince Williams is back, so that should help some of the scoring, but just a tough matchup all around for Jaren Jackson and the undermanned Grizzlies. So that's what I have on my board so far. Let me actually start. So here are a couple plays that I do like from Utah today. So I do like Jordan Clarkson's 3-pointers, as you saw on the screen. And then I also like Lauri Markkanen's rebounds and assists. So those are the two Jazz players that I like. I also like Sexton's first half PRA, even though it got bumped to 14. So I think that's still in play. Sexton's full game PRA. I mean, the defensive rating for the Philadelphia 76ers goes way down when Joel Embiid's not in that lineup. It's a completely different team. And I'm just looking for a lot of just a closer game between these two teams. And I'm also looking for Lauri Markkanen to get back on track. Last game, he didn't have the best of games against the Knicks. So this is a nice spot for him to kind of get back on the right track at home. So those are my two Utah Jazz props that I like for today. Unfortunately, you cannot play these in the same 2-pick power because it needs to be players from different teams. So that's where I'm looking for an extra play to see if I can create multiple 2-pick powers. But I do like the Jazz today. So like I mentioned at the beginning, I have a problem. I like too many Utah Jazz player props, and I don't know what to do about it. All right, let's get this going now. All right. Let's see if I can find who had the first player prop. I got to scroll up. So Landon, I believe Landon was the first to put into the chat what he's got his eyes on today. Holiday PRA, Sexton PA, or Lauri RA. Well, I like Lauri's rebounds and assists for sure. So let's take a look at your Holiday PRA play. And that's first half. I was also looking at Porzingis' first half. I don't know if you are aware, but Porzingis is on quite the first quarter hot streak. I don't know what his first quarter player prop is. I'm sure the books have caught up to it, but he's got like something like 9 games in a row of just crushing in the first quarter. Like that's his quarter. Like the Celtics just let him do his thing in the first quarter. I don't know if that's by design, but he eats. And so if he has a really big first quarter, more than likely he goes over first half in PRA. So I was looking at that today, but those lines have been bumped up a little bit. We can look at those if y'all want to look at his first half props. I really hope that LeBron and AD play today. I need this game to be competitive. We do not need any blowouts on a 4-game slate. Those are the worst. So hopefully these games stay close. All right, so let's go with your PRA for Holiday. Jesus says, anybody like John Collins' assist, his demon assist? I haven't even looked at it. It's at 1.5. I mean, we'll throw it in there. Let's take a look at that. I'm going to clear out the Jordan Clarkson and Laurie for now. We can look at those when we go to props.cash. I just want to make sure I'm getting more of your plays in this first round. And I'll take Mobley out. I'll leave Jackson in there because I do think that one is going to get bumped down to 25. All right, so we got Collins, Holiday. What else we got? Shy likes Laurie. A lot of people are on Laurie, so what we can do, because we only have 4 games on the slate, we can look at multiple player props. So whoever y'all put in the chat, when we go over to props.cash, we can just take a look at everything, and then we'll just knock it all out. That way we don't have to like go back and forth. And there's only 4 games, so we should be able to do that without any like major time change. All right. What else we have? See, there's another Laurie. Divine. Anthony Davis, RA. Man, I hope he plays today. I'm sure he will. But, you know, anytime you see the questionable tags, we just kind of get used to seeing him on the questionable list. And we just brush it off like, yeah, whatever. And then I'm sure at one point he actually will be questionable and it'll throw everything off. So hopefully he does play today. Hopefully today's not the day where he gets ruled out. Hopefully just should be a fun game, man, if everybody plays. All right. So we got Collins in there. Sexton over points. Jim, I think that's been bumped up. I'm not mistaken. I think Sexton's been bumped up to 19. Yeah. I do like his PRA, though. So I think his 19 points are still in play. That was you, Deontay? Are you Vegan D in the Discord? It's like I'm meeting people for the first time again. Like, hey, what's up, man? It's me. Aaron Neesmith has been active. He has no props yet, but he's one of my plays today. Okay. Yeah, Aaron Neesmith has been stepping up. Jim says early play of the day, Simone Fontecchio over his first half points at 4.5. All right, Deontay, cool. Super. Tatum first half PRA over. All right. First half PRA for Tatum. Awesome. Divine, I got your ADRA, and we'll look up Mitchell as well. Donovan Mitchell as well. Just want to make sure I get everybody's one play at least from everybody. Ramo, we'll come back to Derek White. We'll kick it off with that one the next round. All right. Let's do this. We're heading over to props.cash. Welcome into the stream. If you are just joining or if you have just been on the stream for a few minutes, we're taking player props, Q&A right now. If you have a player prop that you want to take a look at, throw it in the chat. I'll try my best to get to it. We're using props.cash to break everything down. So if you don't have a props.cash account, you can sign up using my promo code THANKS25. That will get you 25% off your first month, but all this information is in the stream description, so I won't use any of the time on stream to go over any of that. It's all in there. If you have any questions about it, though, definitely let me know, but I'm not trying to make this into an infomercial. All right, we are going to start. Let's start the first game. LA and Boston. Let's start with Anthony Davis, RA. Let's kick things off with AD. Taking a look at his rebounds and assists right now, they're sitting at minus 132 to the over, 14.5 rebounds and assists. So this one's already coming in really strong with the odds, coming in very strong with the game logs, coming in very strong with the head-to-head matchup with the versus here, 17 last game on Christmas Day. Anthony Davis is projected for 14.7 RA, so that's slightly over his line today. It's really what we need. We need him to get 15. the higher the projection doesn't mean anything. You're not getting style points for this. You're not getting more money for your plays if he goes over by 2 or 3. You need him to get 15 and that's it. So he looks to be in a good spot today. If you want to take it a little further and see what he's done on the road, over his last 10 games, he does have a 50% hit rate. When you compare that to just overall plays, he has a 70% hit rate. So playing a little bit better at home, but he's still in a good spot considering that he did play this team on Christmas Day. Now, this game was in LA, but I don't see that being a huge obstacle for him today. If we were getting worse odds, I might look further into the home away splits, but we're getting positive odds here. So whether he's home or away, I think he's in a good spot to go over. So I think first play, kicking it off with Anthony Davis. I think this is a strong one to take the over on for sure. All right. Anthony Davis is good to go. Let's take a look at LeBron points. Was it LeBron points? Didn't I see LeBron points? No, I did not. If you had a LeBron point question in there, I don't know. I saw it, but it's not on the PrizePicks board. But let's just look at it real quick. Over his last 10 games, he has hit this in 50%, 60% over his last 5 head-to-head games versus the Celtics. He only one game to look at this season on Christmas Day. He put up 16 points. I think this is the kind of game that LeBron will show up a little bit more for. I think there's like a nice line of mutual respect between him and Jason Tatum, but I also feel like he just wants to kick the shit out the Celtics every time he plays them. So his point prop today is at 24.5. He's projected for basically 26. So this one is sitting in a good spot. You're getting coin flip odds, so you're not getting a whole lot of juice either side. So it's just like you decide. The books don't really know what to do with this one. In the event that let's say AD sits today, which I hope he doesn't, this is going to get bumped up. In the event that LeBron sits today, AD's props are going to get bumped up. So I think where you see him now are going to be the best spot to take him if you want them. If you wait any longer, it's possible they do move based off injury news. All right, let's look at, we have Holiday and we have Jason Tatum in this game. So let's take a look at Drew Holiday's PRA, full game PRA. So 23.5 is his line right now on PrizePicks. It looks like it's the same across the industry. You see down here, all the books have this at the same line. So you're not getting any value added to this line. Minus 125 to the over, minus 102 to the under. He has back-to-back games of 25 plus PRA, and then he has 4 out of his last 5 games. So it's not even like this is just a new thing for him. He is averaging 24 PRA on the year. So this is kind of right where he usually is. He is getting slightly less favorable projections though. So he's only projected for 22 PRA. How much stock you want to put into that is completely up to you. If you feel like that's a big enough reason to sway to the under or just avoid it. But you are still getting stronger odds, slightly, stronger odds to the over. And you do have some positive games here over his last 5 games. If you want to take a look at what he's done against the Lakers over the last season, the first 2 games that you see there are in a Bucks uniform. And then the last game is in a Celtics uniform where he put up 32 PRA. So, yeah. This could be a good spot for him. I mean, you're going to have like superstar matched up with superstar, right? Tatum and Porzingis and Jaylen Brown, Davis and LeBron. They're all like on each other at some point, right? They're all kind of like defending each other. And that leaves, I don't know, who are you putting on Drew Holiday? Is he even a focal point for the Lakers? You're just trying to stop the big 3. You have like Austin Reeves and D'Angelo Russell running around out there. I mean, you're going to start Jared Vanderbilt. You're going to put him on Drew Holiday? I don't think so. So he could be in a good spot to like fly under the radar with this prop. I think this is a strong play for Drew Holiday. Very unassuming play because there's so much star power on the Lakers. You typically don't think about him as somebody you want to play, but it could be to your advantage today. All right, let's look at Jason Tatum's first half PRA. This one is coming in at 21 on the dot. At least that's what it is on PrizePicks. You're still seeing it at 21.5 across the book. So last 2 games versus the Lakers have not been kind. He has blown under this in 2 straight games versus the Lakers. Now, when we look at his last 10, he has a 60% hit rate. In the last 5, he has a 60% hit rate, basically averaging 23 PRA in the first half in those games. Oof, I felt that burp coming on. So PRA sitting at 40 for the game. So 41 for the game. Simple math, divide by 2. If you want to take a really, really basic approach to, I wonder what he'll do in the first half, it gives you an idea. It kind of gives you a guide. So 20.5 based off that math, and he needs 22 to get over this one. For me personally, Jason Tatum, I can never figure him out. I feel when I do take his first half player props, he starts slow and then ends strong. And then when I avoid his first half player props, he comes out and just lights it up. So I miss out on that production. I'm definitely not the Jason Tatum whisperer. So I tend to stay away from his first half prop because I can't get him right. But based off just the numbers that we're seeing here, and we figure this can be a competitive game, I would think that he's on the floor. I would think that he's driving and he's creating his shot and getting fouled and doing all the things, and that puts him in a great spot to go over this line. All right, let's look at, we have 2 Jazzes to look at, John Collins and Colin Sexton. Right? Colin Sexton? Yeah. The Collin boys. So let's look at, first of all, let's look at Colin Sexton's full PRA for the game. It's at 29.5 on the books, but I don't believe it's at 29 on PrizePicks, unless it got bumped up. One game this season versus Philly, this is what he did. Over his last 10 games, 70% hit rate, 60% hit rate over his last 5 games. He is projected for 29, basically PRA, which gets him right there on the hook. I just got to double check. I just want to make sure that his line is not at 29. I don't see it. Oh, Colin Sexton is only 27.5 on PrizePicks. I don't know why you would play it anywhere else. I mean, shit, you're finding this at 29 somewhere. Why would you play the over on that? You play the under on that, if anything, or stay away from it. You're getting this at an extremely favorable line for Colin Sexton. 2 PRA less. This is a really good spot. This is a really good line. I don't know why this is so high in other places, but it seems like PrizePick got this one right in our favor. He's projected for 29 PRA, which gets him over 27.5. This is a good play. I'm not gonna like dive into this one. This is a good play. First half PRA is also at a good spot too. I believe this one got bumped up to 14. Unless I'm missing something, I feel these lines are being propped a little too high across some of these books, which is great because it's causing a really big discrepancy, and it's a good one for us to take advantage of. Colin Sexton is 8 out of his last 9 games when you exclude that push, or if you want to count the push, he's 8-1-1 over his last 10 games. This is a good spot for Colin Sexton. First half and full game. All right, John Collins, Demon prop. This one is a a little bit of a different one because we typically don't go for his assists. We're always looking at his points and rebounds or PRA or something like that. But we're looking at his assists today. And he needs to go over this prop of 1.5. So when we look at the odds, they're pretty bad. But most of these odds, when you look at these odds for these demon props, they're going to be terrible odds, which is why they're demons. But the good news is have a few games where he's giving you 2 assists. It seems like a very low line, one that he should be able to get, but it's that low for a reason. The projections agree with the odds, saying that he's not going to get there. So again, demons are super risky. You throw this in a flex, use it to boost your payouts. Even if he doesn't get 2 assists and your other plays hit in the slip, you're getting more money because the payout is increased. Yeah, I don't know what to say about this one. It's super risky. But you do have some positive games in there where he has gone over. If you want to look at his head-to-head game with the 76ers, 3 out of 5 games, he's giving you 2 or more assists. That should make you feel good if you're looking to take the over on this one. I mean, you have to take the over on this one. If you're playing the demon prop, you can't go under. PrizePicks won't allow you to. So that one's cool. It's risky, but if you throw it in a slip and it hits, I mean, you're looking at a pretty nice payout. All right, last one that I want to look at is one of mine. I'm going to look at Jaren Jackson's points. I just think these are a little too high for him. And we've seen him score 30 points in a game, but this is a shitty matchup for him. Now, it is at home, so there's that. But when we take a look at his home games, they look worse. So over his last 10 games at home, Jaren Jackson has only gone over this twice. Vince Williams is back, and I think that helps the under on this one because that's one more scorer on the team. It's less shots for Jaren Jackson. That's kind of how I'm looking at it. Anthony Davis RA just got bumped up to 15. So I think it's still playable at 15, but if you didn't get it at 14, you missed the best line for him today. But there's Jaren Jackson, 25.5 points. I like the under on this one. I just think that's a little too high based off the matchup. Look at all this. Luke Kennard is day today. Conchar is day today. I don't even. Nope. Luke Kennard is doubtful. Zaire Williams is out. Okay, so there are a lot of injuries for this team. Sometimes players can get hurt and it does increase the usage for other players. And sometimes you just have way too many injuries on the team that you just can't stay competitive and you're not going to hit your prop. And I think we might be looking at a similar spot to that tonight versus the Cavs. So I'm willing to take the under on Jaren Jackson Jr.'s points. We take a look at what we got on the board. You got Holiday over. We're going to go over on John Collins' assists. Colin Sexton is good to go. We looked at his PRA. We looked at his first half PRA, and we like his points as well because that's a big part of his PRA. Jason Tatum is the only one that I'm a little undecided on because I just don't know which Jason Tatum we get. So, and this one has been bumped down or bumped up. So y'all put in the chat. Do y'all want Jason Tatum over or under? Or is that one that you might be staying away from? I can always go back and correct it. But those are our first 6. 6 up, 6 down. Player props. Over on PrizePicks. Let's clear the screen and let's go back. Let's go back. All right, Ramo, I said we're going to start things off with Derek White, under or over RA. Either. So you're good playing his RA. Are you gonna put that in 2 slips? What is his RA? 8.5. All right, let's see. Sexton rebounds. We're getting a lot of Utah Jazz. A lot of Utah Jazz player props today. Jim says White over 3-pointers made at 2.5. Is it really at 2.5? Damn. I tell you what, because we're getting so many Derek White, or not so many, but we're getting a couple. We'll just look at a few of them when we go to props at cash. Jaylen Brown under 32.5 PRA. Getting some unders in here. I like that. Let's see. I'll tell you what. I will tell you what. This is what we're going to do. We're going to try this. I got my screen split between the chat and props.cash. We've already looked up Anthony Davis RA. We already looked up LeBron James points. We're going to stay in this Lakers and Boston game. And let's just go through a handful of player props versus me going back and forth. Don't even put Celtics on the slip. Mookie says, good morning. All right. We already looked at AD's RA. Let's look at AD's points. Sitting at 25.5. That's what I'm seeing it at. There you see his odds on the screen. 25 on PrizePicks. So you're getting at a lower line on PrizePicks. Not going to sway it a ton, but it is easier to hit 25 than 26. So it does give you some value. 40 points in his last game versus Boston. He's projected for 25 on the dot, which is basically what you need. You need 26 actually. He needs to get you 26 points today. He's gotten you 26 points 3 out of his last 5 games and 6 out of his last 10. Those are his home games. Over his last 10 overall, 50% hit rate. So we talked about him playing a little bit better at home, but it's not that big of a difference. Derek White, rebounds and assists, 8.5. He's gone 3 straight games of not getting this, but we know what he's capable of. He's just too busy scoring points. He had 13 last game on Christmas Day. He's projected for 7 today. Yeah, I don't know. I would honestly, I hate taking the under on Derek White, but this might be a good one too. Take the under on 8.5. So it was kind of like a coin flip, over or under, either way. I would side with the under on this one. He might have a good game, but I don't know if he gets you 9 rebounds and assists today. It is always scary taking the under on Derek White, but at least we're getting odds that support that. His points were last time I saw his points were at 15. I don't know if those got bumped up to 15.5. Yeah, they did. I think he's more likely to get you 16 points than he is 9 rebounds and assists. What else did we have from this game? I saw Jaylen Brown, 32 PRA in there. It's at 33.5 on the books, and we're getting it on PrizePicks at 32. So this was really playable against Indiana when it was at 31.5, and then that got bumped up to 33 at the end of the day. And now we're seeing it right in that range. Different matchup, different team, similar line. But at 32.5, much easier for him to hit that than it is 34. Back-to-back games of going over. He has 6 out of his last 10 and 3 out of his last 5. His head-to-head games versus the Lakers, he did not get it done last game. When we look at his projections for today, he's projected for 30 PRA. So, pretty low line, pretty low projection for him. The only positive that you do have is that you are getting it at a lower line on PrizePicks than you are some of these other sites. I want to see what it is trending at on Jock Market. And it is at 32.5. So looks like most of the sites have this at the same line. I would feel comfortable taking the under on this one. I would. If too many people start taking the under on this one, it'll get bumped down to 32. All right. We looked up Holiday, we looked up Brown, we looked up James, we looked up White, we looked up Davis. All right. We're getting a lot of Utah Jazz. I told you, they all look good today. A lot of these props look good for the Utah Jazz. So I'm glad that I'm not the only one with that problem. We ran through John Collins' assists, but let's look at the other. We're going to run through his full, lines here. 14.5 points is what I'm seeing for him right now over on props.cash. 14.5 over on PrizePicks. So right now you're getting this at the same line. No Embiid tonight. Paul Reed. Who else is in there? Mo Bamba. If Nick Batum is out as well, that's one less big in the front court. So maybe his points look a little bit better knowing that. Getting really good projections. That's 16 points here for John Collins. You want to take a look at his rebounds as well. His rebounds are sitting at 8.5. That seems a little high for John Collins. I know that he's 4 out of his last 5, but he's also this guy where he gives you 6, 4, and 6. 8.5 might be a little high, but it's not on PrizePicks right now. The next best line you have are his rebounds and assists, sitting at 9.5. Is that also getting bad odds? Yeah, I don't understand that. He's projected for 10 rebounds and assists today. He's getting really good projections across the board, but his odds just aren't all that good. It's almost like these odds haven't factored in that Embiid's not playing today. These are like if Embiid were in, this is what I would expect. But with Embiid out, I don't know, man. For John Collins, we can look at his PRA as well. 22.5 right now over on PrizePicks. You're getting it at 23.5 on the books. Now, this one is interesting because at 23.5 is getting you positive odds, or more positive in favor of the over, I should say. But at 22.5, no, I'm looking at that incorrectly. Holy shit, it's at 24.5 over on PrizePicks. Never mind. Forget what I just said. This has been bumped up. PrizePicks is juicing the shit out of this one. What about his points and rebounds? Points and rebounds look better at 22.5. That's what you're getting it on PrizePicks. You're getting decent odds here. He's hooked it back-to-back games. I understand that this isn't the over, but he's right there. And I'm sure he actually did go over this. I think his points and rebounds was 21 or 20.5 versus New York. So remember, this is just based off the today's line. So these will change as this line increases. These game logs change. So I think we were looking at a 5 out of the last 5 games for him, but with the increase today, it's down to 3 out of his last 5. And I think he's in a good spot for this one. We already looked at his assists, so we won't go there. Let's look up Colin Sexton. We looked up Colin Sexton's PRA. We looked at first half PRA. His points are at 19 on PrizePicks, at 19.5 on the books. You're still getting these really good odds, and you're getting it at a lower line on PrizePicks. So that should give you confidence to take the over on this one. If you were going to take the over at some point, this will be bumped up to 19.5, probably 20 by the end of the day. So I think Colin Sexton is in play. We already looked up his PRA. We can look up his rebounds. 2.5. I don't know if that's something you're looking at for Colin Sexton, but it's on PrizePicks at 2.5. This is also in play. You're not always going to get the best odds, but we've seen worse. We've seen better here. Projected for 3. Maybe you look at his assists. Now his assists are up to 6 today. I think the days of getting his assists at 4.5 are gone. You're still getting this at a lower line on PrizePicks. They're sitting at 6, so you're getting it at a lower line. Bring this down. This changes the last 5 games where he's gone over in 4, hooked it in 1. Projected for 7 assists today. Colin Sexton's overall, he's in a really good spot. I think so. So Colin Sexton's good. Lauri Markkanen rebounds. Man, if there ever was a spot for him to crush, it's this spot with no Embiid. Projected for what? 9 rebounds? Man, fuck these projections. Sometimes I just get so tired of these projections being bad like this, man. This doesn't make any sense to me. Minus 130 odds do not equal 7 rebounds. No. Minus 130 odds tell you that he's getting you 9 rebounds. One game this season, 13 rebounds. I don't know if Embiid played in this game. It actually doesn't matter. If Embiid played in this game and Lauri Markkanen got you 13 rebounds, you should feel really good about his upside tonight. If Embiid did not play last game and Lauri Markkanen got you 13 rebounds, you should feel really good about his upside tonight. Nothing changes. So doesn't matter if Embiid was in the lineup. So this is in a good spot too. $23.5 points for Lauri Markkanen. 33 against the 76ers last game. Hasn't been scoring a lot over his last 10 games. Only 5 out of his last 10, 2 out of his last 5. And PRA. Same thing. 2 out of his last 5, 5 out of his last 10. These projections look like Embiid is still being factored in like he's in the game. These don't make sense to me. Fuck you, projections. All right, so there is Larry Markkinen, PRA points. Fontecchio. Fontecchio. Not a household name. On the Filipino national team with Jordan Clarkson. Pretty good player. Just not going to get the run he gets on the national team, you know. He's not going to get that in the NBA. I think his first half points were being looked at 4.5. 4 out of his last 5, he's hit this convincingly. Now he is projected for 10 points today. So if you do simple math divided by 2, then that's 5 each half. That's what you need. This is a really good play. I like this one. It's under the radar. It's maybe a little risky because he is not like the primary ball handler. However, he can shoot. So in the event he gets hot from 3, I mean, this is what he's done over his last 10 games. He's giving you 2 or more 3-pointers in 8 out of 10 games. Projected for 2 3-pointers today. It's a good play. Fontecchio. Boom. All right. Ran through a few Jazz players. Now we're getting some 76ers love. We're gonna keep this in the same game. Let's look at Jose. I see your 2.5 3-pointers for Harris, and then Lil Bud. We haven't really talked about a lot of Grizz and Cavs. I know Divine wanted to look up Mitchell as well, so let's spend a few minutes on the Cavs and Grizz as well, and see if we can find some value there. It feels like that, Ashley. It feels like Embiid is not being factored in, which is weird because usually the odds have everything baked in. Everything that you think you know about a game, the odds are already on top of it. So it's funny to see the projections not align with the odds. All right, so let's look up this. Harris. We'll look up Harris threes. Lil Bud says he likes Oubre over his 18.5 points. And then we'll go into the Grizz and Cavs. All right, so let's look up Tobias Harris. So, minus 120 to the under. Minus 108 to the over. No Tyrese Maxey in this game. Let's do this. So in games played without Joel Embiid, all these are from this season. So all these are relevant. In 10 games played without Joel Embiid, or at least the last 10 games played without Joel Embiid, Tobias Harris is averaging 1.2 3-pointers made. He has that 4 3-pointers upside, but then he also has the 0 3-pointers made upside, or downside, I should say. You would think that his production does go up without Embiid, but at least for 3-pointers, it doesn't look like he's taking a ton of threes, or at least not making a ton of threes. If we remove Tyrese Maxey from the equation, it looks a little better in the sense that he have less games with 0, but he's still not getting you 2 in these games. So that's interesting. Did not really know that he was not producing from 3. If you want to look at his PRA, I know that might be a popular play based off the injury news in Philly, but over his last 10 games played without this, actually this is irrelevant. Let's just look at these 2 games here because these are from this season. 2 games played without Embiid and Maxey, Harris has gone for 22 and 14 points. In the event Maxey does play today, then Harris's game logs look like this. 46 upside, 47 PRA upside, but then he can also disappear in games like this. So on paper, it feels like Harris should be heavily in play because of the injury news, but he's not really like taking games over when these two guys sit, or when at least when Maxey sits or Embiid sits. Maybe the under is in play for Tobias Harris today. I see his turnovers in there, and that does make sense because if you feel like he's going to have the ball in his hands more, being the primary ball handler or at least the primary scorer, or one of them with Oubre, then you would assume that his turnovers go up a little bit because that's what happens. When your usage goes up, turnovers are in play. You're getting really decent odds to that over -131, and you got 10 games played without Max or without Joel Embiid. He's turning the ball over 2 times in those games, 5 times against New Orleans. And these are all this year. These are all recent games. So we're not looking at AAU shit. This is all this season. So this is actually probably one of the more underrated or under the radar plays. And when you think about his turnovers, you don't really think about that as a play, but it's in play. It's definitely in play. Let's take a look at Oubre. All right. Let's start at the top with his points. We are going to keep Joel Embiid out, so that way this reflects properly. Okay. 10 games played without Joel Embiid. Oubre has gone over this line in 5 games. He's averaging 17 points. So when he goes over, he goes over. When he doesn't, he fucking flops. So you have that nice opposite, like a polar opposite game going on where like there's no sweat with him. He either crushes it or he doesn't even make it close. Like you're gonna know when he doesn't hit. So you got that head-to-head matchup with the Utah Jazz okay, so Embiid did not play in this game. We talked about Lauri Markkanen his rebounds last game. We said it didn't matter if Embiid played or not. Well, Embiid didn't play in that game, so you should feel really good about Markkanen his rebounds. Same situation, except this game is at home. And we look at the last game where Kelly Oubre went for 24 points against the Jazz without Embiid. Let's not play too close attention to his projections because I gotta be honest with you, I just don't agree with some of these projections we're seeing today. What else do we need to look at for Oubre? PRA? .32.5 PRA versus the Jazz back on the 6th. Look at his last 10 games play without Joel Embiid. When Oubre, we can call him Oubre Jr. When Oubre Jr. goes over his points, he typically goes over his PRA. So that tells you that the majority of his PRA are his points. So if he's hot from the field, he should hit a lot of props. So if you want to take the over on Oubre, I mean, he won't find himself in a better spot than what he's going to be in tonight without Embiid. And in the event that Maxey sits or is even limited, yeah, you're just not going to find a better spot for him. Like, it doesn't get more favorable for him because that injury news is real. All right. Yeah, so he only shows out when Embiid's on the floor. Who's that, Ashley? Oh, Tobias Harris? I don't know, maybe. Well, I think what it is Embiid commands so much attention, demands, the focus of the opposition. So I feel like guys like Harris and Oubre, those types of players, those role players, they really excel when that superstar is on the floor because they can kind of like move freer on the floor and they can open up shots for them. But if those guys are being asked to be the star in the game, that's not really who they are on a consistent basis. So I think that's why you see like it drop for some players where you would think they are gonna like go out there and just fucking crush. Like if Curry was out and Clay was out, you you would hammer the over on Kuminga and hammer the over on Wiggins, but like maybe they don't hit their over because now you just focus on those guys, So maybe it's just like that type of situation in Philly. But then you got guys like Jalen Brunson. When Lucas sat out in Dallas, that dude took it to the next level. And I don't think people were expecting that. So you see it happen in different ways. But yeah, Tobias Harris seems to like really benefit when Embiid's out there. All right, let's so Oubre's PRA. We looked at his points, we looked at his PRA. 3-pointers made. If you're interested in 3-pointers made, that might be something you're looking at. Popular play. Without Embiid on the floor, 10-game log doesn't look all that good. Now his game against the Utah Jazz last game, not good. So is he spending most of his time in the mid-range? Is he driving? Is he getting fouled? Is he at the free throw line? How are his points being scored here? Because he's not lighting it up from 3. Cutler said he took Oubre's field goal attempts. That might be a better play, to be honest with you. That might be the better play. Jose, I don't know for sure if Tyrese Maxey is out. He's on the injury report. He is questionable as I look at it now, but what I'm trying to do also is just think like how an NBA team would manage their players. You're looking at their bigger picture. If your guy's coming in, he's not 100%, and it's not a must-win game, you're probably going to rest him, especially against a team like the Utah Jazz, where they may feel like they still have enough players left that they can stay competitive and not risk further injury to Tyrese Maxey. So that's why I'm like, maybe he's out. Let's take him out and see what those game logs look like. But nothing's been confirmed in terms of him being out. But we're just kind of trying to think one step ahead. All right. We're done with Philly and Utah. Let's talk about the Cavs and Memphis Grizzlies today. Let's start. We were looked at Jaren Jackson already. Let's look at Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell's points, Donovan Mitchell RA, Donovan Mitchell PRA. So Donovan Mitchell's points right now sitting at 27.5 over on certain books. Let me go ahead and just pull up. So 27.5 is what we got on PrizePicks. Let me just share this real quick. So we got, these are all of Donovan Mitchell's available player props on PrizePicks. Quite a few. All right, so this matchup is about as good as it gets for Donovan Mitchell. Now, this is a back-to-back, right? Yeah, they played the Detroit Pistons yesterday. So 3 straight games with 28 points, 6 out of his last 10, 3 out of his last 5. Last time these two teams played, 6 points. He got hurt that game, right? He had a fucking aneurysm in that. There's no reason he scored 6 points if he played his full minutes. No, he got hurt. There's something up with that game. It doesn't even matter because it was last season. We don't care. This season, 3 straight games, 28 or more. Matchup is pretty good. Memphis Grizzlies are giving up quite a few points. It doesn't really matter with this dude because he can just take over a game. You want to talk about field goal attempt prop? I don't know if that's available on PrizePicks, but this dude chucks. No, there's no field goal attempt prop. He goes over, he's going to chuck. He's projected for 29 points today versus the Grizz. Now, this one being played on the road. Donovan Mitchell over his last 10 road games, numbers don't look as good. I don't know if you want to factor that in or if you even care, but it is something to know. Let's look at his PRA. So PRA last 10 games on the road, better. 5 out of his last 10 games on the road, he's gone over this. averaging 38.1 PRA. Now, that does not get him over his line today of 38.5, but you see his upside in there. If you're not a road away splits person, then this is what he's done over his last 10 games overall. He has an 80%, 70% hit rate over his last 10, 80 over his last 5. Projected for 42 PRA. Donovan Mitchell RA. 11.5. I like this one. Yesterday we talked about his RA. He was getting negative odds. Odds in favor of the under. He was projected for 12 when we were seeing odds in favor of the under. And we talked about how we like the over in spite of the odds not being, good. And it worked out. And we didn't guess. We didn't make a stupid decision. We didn't go with our gut. We went based off the numbers, went based off the data, and it all added up. And I think he's in a similar spot today. Donovan Mitchell is defying. He is debunking this whole urban legend bullshit of 5 games straight. It's going to go, it's going to crash at some point. Usually you see the negative regression. I guess it doesn't apply to Donovan Mitchell because there is no negative regression for him over his last 10 games, and specifically over his last 7, where he's 7 straight games and getting you 12 or more. This one's in a great spot. I'm not saying that he can't have a bad game. I'm just saying that we're not seeing a whole lot of them in his last 10. If we want to look at what he's done on the road, because his game is being played in Memphis, doesn't look any worse. 6 straight games of over, and in fact, he's averaging more on the road. Look at this shit. Projected for 13 RA today. This one's good. Donovan Mitchell steals. This used to be something I often attacked when his steals and blocks were at 1.5. Now you're seeing his steals at 1.5. On the road, Donovan Mitchell is averaging 2 over his last 5 and 2 over his last 10. But he also is capable of giving you no steals. Donovan Mitchell is projected for 2 steals. Roughly, you got to round this up. 1.74 is closer to 2 than it is to 0 and 1. Ink, good morning. Welcome in. Tavo, good morning. Welcome in. Looking at Donovan Mitchell's RA. We just looked at his RA. Hope you saw that. All right. What else for Donovan Mitchell? We looked up points. We looked up PRA. We looked up RA. We looked up steals. You guys interested in his 3-pointers made? I don't know if that's on the board. Let me just make sure it is. No sense in looking up a prop if it's not playable. Two and a half. So 2.5 is Donovan Mitchell's goblin 3-pointers made. There doesn't look like there is a OG line for him or a demon line. So what could be interesting though is if you like his steals at 1.5, and that's actually not playable on PrizePicks, his steals. So you have a 0.5 steals prop, which is a goblin, which is less payout. And you have a 2.5 steals prop, which is a demon. So if you think he has the upside, that 3-4 steal per game upside, we've seen that. You could do worse if you wanted to play that demon in a slip. Put that in a slip with the John Collins assist demon and see what your payout is for that 2-pick power. I swallowed a spider. All right. So Donovan Mitchell, we're looking at everything for this dude. 3-pointers, Currently, 2.5 is his goblin. I don't mind his 3-pointers. Because this dude is taking 20 shots a game, upwards of 27. Yeah, I don't mind his 3-pointers because he's averaging 3-pointers made per game, and he's averaging 9 3-pointers attempted per game. So he's the 33% 3-point shooter. Again, you can do much worse than these props, but if you don't feel like this offers you enough value, please don't force it into your slips. All right. Mitchell. Done. Vince Williams. Let's look at Vince. Any love for Vince today? Look at that. As soon as I ask, I see Ashley's. Vince Williams, first half points, please. All right. Vincent Williams Jr. Let's look at his points. First half. Jose is also on Vince Williams. Jose said, not touching full game, blowout risk. Absolutely. Absolutely. In fact, we just looked at Donovan Mitchell. I don't know if you've paid attention to the games that the Cavs have played. But when they blow teams out, like they fuck them up, man. They're like up by 30. And Donovan Mitchell sits the entire fourth quarter. So if Donovan Mitchell is in a blowout situation and he is not over prop by the end of the third quarter, chances are he's not going over because he's not coming back. So I guess we should factor that in if we're looking at Donovan Mitchell player props for today, or maybe start looking at some of his first half player props if you were on him. But we're looking at Mitchell. We're looking at Williams. 4 straight games of 9 or more points in the first half for this dude. This guy came out of nowhere. Good for him. Let's pull up Vince Williams over on PrizePicks. I just want to make sure that, okay, he only has 2 player props on the board for first half, 7 points and 12.5 PRA. So do we like his 7 points today versus the Cavs? That's on the road. Caught myself. Even better. 5 straight games of 7 or more points over his last 5. He is averaging 11 points in the first half. This is overall. Let's look at home splits. Okay, we came back down to earth a little bit, but 3 straight games of 7 or more points. Okay. What about his first half PRA? Now, these are home splits. So 2 out of his last 3, he's gone over. Let's just look at overall. That's nice. Let's look at home again. And let's look at this. Anytime you see such a huge drop or change in production, you got to look at the minutes. We got to figure out what was going on. By the minutes, we can tell his role, right? So in these games, didn't we have a healthy Desmond Bane in these games? So in these games right here, he's not the same player. He doesn't have the same usage. So you would not expect him to be putting up a lot of points. However, when these bodies start dropping in Memphis, this is what you're getting. It's a huge difference. So when we look at the game logs, you might be like, this guy doesn't do shit in the first half and blah, blah, blah. But his role is much different in January than it was in November. He's in a good spot, blowout or not. Who the fuck else are they going to play for this team? Like, were they going to bench him in the fourth quarter? Who for who? For who? He's blowout proof. We're looking at his first half, but he's also blowout proof in terms of full game. I think you can look at his full game props. His first half props look really good though. So we look at his full game points sitting at 13.5. This is over this is just in the industry, but let's pull up his full game props on PrizePicks. 13.5. You are getting slightly positive odds to the over on this one. So over his last 10 games, he's gone over 60% and 80% over his last 5. At home, there's 2 out of 5 games. Now PRA, let's take a look at that. Last 10 games at home, huge games against the Knicks and Warriors. But man, full game PRA, not looking great. Full game PRA. And then let's untoggle that. And let's just look at his full game PRA overall over the last 10 games, home and away. Better numbers, obviously. Bigger sample size. But you still have 5 games in there that he didn't come close. So he's, like I said, he's blowout proof in terms of his minutes. Like, I don't think you're touching his minutes. I mean, he's averaging 33 minutes in his last 10 games. So I would not worry about him being pulled out of the game and his minutes being cut short. But when we look at his 10 games, this does give you a little something to think about. It's not as convincing as his first half. I think his first half player props are in play over his full game player props. For sure. So there's Vince Williams, full game, first half props. Anything else for Vince Williams that you have your eyes on? Steals and blocks are at 1.5 full game. Not getting the best numbers here. He is projected for absolutely nothing because there are no projections for him. At home, this guy's a thief at home. He's averaging 2 per game over his last 5, but over his last 3, he has a total of 8 steals and blocks. New York, Golden State, and Orlando. Rebounds and assists at home, not too good. Overall, a little better, but still not going over in his last 3 games. So Vince Williams, first half points, first half PRA are in play. Full game PRA is much riskier based off what we've seen. I think he's blowout proof because who the hell else is going to play for the Grizz? But he needs 25 PRA, and we're not seeing a ton of positive data to support that. So it's kind of weird because you could probably go with an over on his first half PRA, but the under on his full game, that's very sweaty and very tilting. But if you wanted to leverage that, that's one way to do it if you just have full faith in like the blowout thing there. All right. What else we got? What else we got? Infamous Mel, what's going on? Welcome in. So bad about this. If you're just joining the stream, we're almost done. Wrapping up some player props. We're just going game by game. But hit that like button on your way in. Appreciate the support. If you're catching this on the replay, appreciate you spending time checking it out. Derek White, 3-point attempts. That is a new one, Mel. Jim says, got my second slip done and posted. Thanks for the help. You're welcome. We are all team Utah today. Yeah. Scary. Appreciate you. Let's look up Cutler because we're still in the same game. Let's look up that Triple J under 9 RA. And then we'll look up the Derek White's 3-point attempts for Mel. Aiden, welcome in. Good morning. Sexton first half points. Yes. We definitely like the Sexton first half PRA. We like his full game points. We didn't dig into his first half points, but I would say yes, we like that. But that's not what you asked. Let's look up Triple J first. Now, you're getting it at 9.5 on books, but on PrizePicks, you are getting this at flat 9. So now you have greater push, but you have push potential. You can't push 9.5. He's gone over this in 4 games out of 10 at home. He's gone over it twice with 10. So at home, when he goes over, he's going over. But there are a lot more games where he doesn't go over. Doesn't seem to matter if you have injury news or not in Memphis. Like, we talk about this with Jaren Jackson a lot. He's really just not that active on the glass. I mean, he will grab the occasional 10 boards and stuff, but for a guy that big, and that's not really his game, you know? And so you're going to see a lot of games where he's like 4 or 5 rebounds, which is, you're kind of scratching your head on that one because you would think he has better numbers, but go back and look at his games. That's just not who he is. So anytime we get his RA like at 9.5, 10, that's way too high. Even at 9, you can take the under on this one. Just know there's greater push potential because when we drop it down to 9, you see he pushed here, but still going under in a lot of games. Now, they do have him projected for 10 rebounds and assists today, but those odds speak louder to me. You're getting minus 140 on the under at 9.5. So at 9, I don't know. What is that like? Minus 120 or something? It's still not good. So, yeah, his under is in play for his rebounds and assists. No doubt. All right. Yo, Essence. Yo. Good morning. Welcome in. Mobley. 15 PRA. Or excuse me, 15 PR. 15.5. Did you know that? Did you know that he was 9 out of his last 10 games going over this? That's pretty strong production. Keep in mind, look at this gap, right? So remember, he was out for a long time. First game back in the lineup, he put up 19 PR versus the Clips. And then yesterday, 11 versus Detroit. So even with the layoff, he still was able to come back in and not skip a beat in that first game. Against Memphis, these are both from last season. Away, even better. Let's exclude that game against New York because that was from last season, but from the 25th of October to the 2nd of December, and that was the last game he played on the road before the injury. I mean, 9 for 9 is pretty strong. He's projected for 19 PR. So, yo, this looks good, but yeah, he is on a minutes restriction. I don't know what his minutes are, though. Do you know what his minutes are? probably like, so we can kind of just do some math here. First game back, he played 21 minutes. Second game back, he played 23 minutes. So I would assume this game he plays 25. So what we can do is, oh, actually, hold on. Other way. Let's say 26. In games where Evan Mobley has played 26 minutes, this is what he's done. Now, we only have 3 games to look at this season. One of those games being, or 2 of those games being his first 2 games back. So when he plays 26 minutes or less, there you go. 2 out of 3 games. If we want to, I'm just assuming 26 minutes is where we see him today. But in the event they allow him to play more, are these his minutes? Where are his minutes? There we go. So in the event they allow him to play more today, let's do 25 or more minutes for Mobley. So in games where he's played 25 or more minutes, now all these games are this season, you can see what he's done in terms of points and rebounds. So there you go. Let's get rid of that. Boom. All right. Yeah, if he plays 25 minutes today, how is that being split? 6 per quarter, something like that. Yeah, I think it's dicey, but I think there's a good chance he gets that. All right. Yeah, we have not talked about Indiana and New York today. That's not because of me. It's because of y'all. Also, there's just not as much value in Indiana and New York right now. You know, all the values coming out of the Utah Jazz and Philly game, and I guess the more watchable game is the Lakers and Celtics. The Knicks and Indiana are kind of getting like buried, kind of getting sandwiched in between those 2 game situations. But we could take a look at this before we dip out. All right, Pascal PRA, Neesmith points. Pascal PRA. So over his last 10 games. So again, keep in mind, these 10 games are based off this line today. But last game, these 10 games look a lot different because that line was lower. That line was 28.5. So he had a higher hit rate. This shit's all relevant. You got to make sure that you're up to date on that, because if you look at this and go, damn, he's only gone over 3 out of his last 10 games, that's an easy under. But you have to factor in that this changes on a day-to-day. So today it's at 32.5. At least that's what I'm seeing. And that's what it is on PrizePicks. 32.5 for Pascal. Oops. All right. So minus 122 on the under, minus 104 to the over. He has a really good History versus the Knicks. I know the last 2 games didn't work out well for him, but prior to that, he went 4 straight of hitting this over. And then when you take a look at his PRA projection for today, it is projected for 32.2. So it is slightly under. No Randall today. Hartenstein is back, but no Randall today, which opens up something. Opens up something. Oh, this is kind of cool. If OG Anunoby does play today, these guys get to play against each other. I'm sure like they'll be matched up with each other at some point in the game. That's kind of cool. But those are his 10 games. His projections are in alignment with the odds, so not a ton of juice to the over here. If there's anything else for Pascal you're looking at, maybe his points. His points are getting better odds at 20.5 over on props.cash, and on PrizePicks, you're seeing him at 21.5. Really bumping the shit out of these. Projected for 21.25. Let's look at his assists. I know a lot of people got burned on his assists last game, but they're at 4.5 now. And he's projected for 4.29. This just looks like an ugly game. You know, doesn't look like there's a ton to like, to be honest with you. Yeah, Grizz barely have a big. I agree, yo, Essence. I agree. Neesmith points. Let's check out Neesmith. Who said they like Neesmith earlier in the chat? They said they were looking at his props when they dropped. 4 straight games gone over. His point prop of 14.5. Now on PrizePicks, this is sitting at bitch. This guy doesn't even have a goddamn points prop on PrizePick. This shit is 9.5 Goblin, 19.5 Demon. Ladies and gentlemen, this is why it's important to play in multiple player prop sites, because this is the shit that you will get on PrizePicks. 14 points on Jock Market. 14 points on Jock Market. If you like the over at 14.5, then you like the over 14.5. 14 points. So if you can find this at 14, it's in play. Unfortunately, on PrizePicks, they're playing games with your money and with your heart. He's projected for 15 points. Do you see what's going on here? So look, if you take a 2-pick power play, your payout is 3x. If you play this Goblin at 9.5, you're getting it nerfed down to 1.9. So PrizePicks is not giving you your winnings. And on this flip, if you play the Goblin or the Demon, yes, it's a 6x if they hit. But this is highly unlikely based off what we're seeing here. And there's no middle ground. So PrizePicks is saying you either take the lesser line and we're going to pay you less, or you take the higher line and we'll pay you more. But if it doesn't hit, and it's probably not going to hit, we'll just keep all your money. Why play that shit when you can just go play that somewhere else? Just find a better line. You don't play a PrizePicks line if you don't have to. That pisses me off. The fact that they don't have his normal points up. Anyway, his 14 points on Jock Market looks fine. 4 straight games are going over this. He's projected for 15. Head-to-head matchup with the New York Knicks. He's gone over in 2 out of his last 4. Last game, he went for 25. This is strong. All right. DiVincenzo. What are we looking at for DiVincenzo? What do we like for DiVincenzo today? Are some of y'all staying away from him because of that huge game? This is like, oh, he's going to fall back down to earth? Or what are we thinking with his 38 points, 10 for 12 from 3? 7 3-pointers. That's it. He only hit 7. Jose said with no Randall, he is a second option all the time. Yeah. His 3-pointers are at 3.5 right now. Dante. Okay. So 3-pointers on PrizePicks, 2.5 Goblin, 4.5 Demon, nowhere in between. So there's another example of PrizePicks basically making you play the lesser line for less money or forcing you to take the higher line with the odds of it not hitting. They keep all your money. Be careful with that shit. Minus 125 on the over with his points sitting at 18.5 today. That's what it is on PrizePicks, 18.5. He's gone over this in back-to-back games. He's crushed this in back-to-back games. It's not a coincidence that when Randall went out, this went up. So I think we can expect more of the same usage for him. I'm not saying this is what happens again. I'm saying the usage is going to be there. If OG is back today, though, because OG was out last game. If OG Anunoby is back today, I think that will pull some usage away from Dante DiVincenzo. I don't know how much, but keep your eye on that news if you like some of his overs today. But as is, this looks fine. There's no need to look at home and away splits because it doesn't apply, because the bigger news is Randall being out, and there's just not enough sample size to look at home and away with Randall out. There's only one game each, so he's gone over in both games. Cutler says PrizePicks is down to his last thread being only because of Flex Fridays. I swear. As the player prop industry becomes more saturated with options, it's going to be harder and harder for PrizePicks to earn your business, and they'll have to start like giving more to retain their members, their accounts. So every time a new site pops up, it's putting a dent in the business. So, and as you see, like PrizePicks doesn't have the best line. So again, why would you play a line that's terrible on PrizePicks? I'm not saying all the lines are terrible. I'm not a hypocrite. I play on PrizePicks, but I don't play the shit lines on PrizePicks. I'll go play somewhere else. So just keep that in mind. You know, you don't have to play these lines if they're not good. Don't play them. Period. Yeah. Again, I'll encourage you all, have at least one other pick'em site that you play on. It doesn't matter which one. Just have something that you can cross-reference. PrizePicks has this line set to this. This prop is over here at a different line. And just like play the two against each other. There's a difference there's a difference between being like there's a difference between just being like reckless with that shit and just being smart. You can be smart and profitable. You don't have to be reckless. So that's my little rant. All right. So we've gone through all the games, pretty much all the games. We've looked at all the bigger names on the board. Let's end the stream with this. Let's look at, oh, I got you, Mil. 3-pointers for 3-point attempts for Derek White. I got you. value on the board for prize picks. There's just not a lot right now. A lot of soccer plays on the board. Just wanted to see what was going on. All right. Let's look up Derek White's 3-point attempts. Yeah. No, we have not, Mel. We're looking it up right now. 3-point attempts. What is his 6.5? So 6.5 on prize picks. And so what we'll have to do with this one is kind of piece it together, because there's not an actual prop like on the drop down box for 3-pointers attempted, but we can still look game over game. So Derek White is averaging 7 3-pointers attempted over his last 10 games. He has gone over this in back-to-back games, 3 out of his last 5, 4 out of his last 5. In fact, aside from the Houston Clippers and Bucks game, Derek White has taken 7 or more 3-point attempts. 7 or more? Yeah, 7 or more 3-pointers attempted. That's pretty strong. On the season, the Lakers are dead last in the league in 3-pointers allowed per game, and they are 21st in the league at in terms of 3-point percentage. 38 3-pointers, 38%, and then allowing almost 15 3-pointers a game. So we're not looking at if Derek White is making 3-pointers. We're looking at taking 3-pointers. Joe Mazzulla's analytical ass wants to take 50 3-pointers a game. I mean, Derek White's involved in that. So that one is an under the radar line. You're not going to see odds on this one on props.cash. Just like you're not seeing odds on dunks, but there is a lot of good value in these field goal attempted, 3-point attempted props. If you look at these, you will find some really good value. It's only a matter of time before the books and the pick'em sites catch up to this. So right now is your time to strike on these props while they're still kind of under the radar. So that's a fine play right there. Derek White over 6.5 3-pointers attempted. All right. I did not, Ashley. I did not. Oh, actually, I mentioned it. Does that count? I mentioned it. We talked about Porzingis' first quarter points. We talked about how that correlates into the first half. Porzingis right now has a 6.5 first quarter point prop. It's a 5.5 prop on other books. This is what he's done over the last 4 games Even when we bump this up to 6.5, it doesn't change these 4 games. Denver, Houston, Miami, Indiana. First quarter against the Lakers, though, not the best. 0 for 3. So that's first quarter. First half points, literally all his points are being scored in the first quarter for his first half. So if he gets off to a strong start today, more than likely he goes over first half points. I'm assuming this is 10.5 now on PrizePicks. If you're getting it at a point higher on PrizePicks when we compare it to the other books, I'm assuming that his first half is also bumped up by 1. It's at 10. So 0.5 is bumped up. 10 is in play. Now he has pushed this, but look at his first half points. 5 out of his last 6 he's gone over in a push. So first half PRA. You like that? It's pretty good. 15 PRA over his last 6 games. 15 or more PRA over his last 6 games, I should say. My phone is blowing up. So first half PRA looks good. First half points look good. First quarter points are in play. A little riskier with the first quarter points, though. I'm not going to lie. I think if you want to be less risky, just look at his first half. That's been very consistent for him. His first half PRA versus the Lakers, first half PRA looks good as opposed to his first quarter points, if that makes sense. So yeah, if you want to be less risky, first half PRA, first half points look good. There you go. There's Porzingis. All right. Over 0.5 3-point attempted. Oh, over 5 3-point attempt. I was like 0.5 3-pointers attempted by Porzingis. Dude, I'm going to go play that shit on a book. 0.5. So it's at 5.5. Did it get bumped up to 5.5 from 5? That's worth a look. Porzingis. 3-point attempt. Let's look. Damn, it's already 10:51. Got to get out of here. So he's gone over this in 2 out of 3 games versus the Lakers. Over his last 10, he has not gone over this very many times. If the trend holds true, he is taking more threes versus the Lakers, at least over his last 2. Well, these are really old. He was a Maverick in this game, in these games, I think. But in this game, he did take 6. So my bad. Hold on. I knew that looked a little weird. Let's look at this again. Sorry. My fault. This fool took 6 3-pointers in the first half. That's what we were looking at before. Full game 3-pointers taken, 9 and 8 last 2 games versus the Lakers, 8 versus the Lakers on Christmas Day. Over his last 10 games, Porzingis has attempted 4.6. So, okay, so it still doesn't look all that good. He's only gone over that 5.5 3-pointers attempted twice. It's a little riskier, to be honest with you, but maybe it's 3-pointers made. If you can find that on a book, it's definitely not going to be on PrizePicks at minus 192 odds to go over. But That's in play. I'm looking for it on PrizePicks right now. So he has a 1.5 3-pointer made as a goblin. So PrizePicks took his original line and made it a goblin. So you get less payout for that. And then they gave you 2 demons. They gave you a 2.5 3-pointers made demon and a 3.5 3-pointers made demon. Why would you play it? Why would you play 1.5 on PrizePicks at a lower payout when you can just go find that somewhere else? So this is the shit I'm talking about. Do your research and make sure that you're not getting suckered into these kind of bullshit ass low pay player props. So there you go. There's Porzingis, and I think that is going to do it, ladies and gentlemen, gamblers of all ages. We are good. We covered all 4 games in depth breakdown. If I didn't get to your player prop, throw it in the Discord and let me know what you like. Aside from these plays talked about, but throw it in the Discord and I can help you break it down if you want it to. Anybody plays of the day before we get out of here? Anybody have a play of the day they want to share with the chat? Let me know, and we can list them in the Discord for everybody else to see. So yesterday's players of the day, PG got ruled out at the end, towards the end of the day, so he did not go over. That was unfortunate because he was in a good spot, and the Clippers absolutely handled business. We did look at Hero. So Hero finished with 14 points, so didn't go over his points, but he did finish with 8 assists. So Hero finished with over 22.5 points and assists, and he finished over his PRA with 8 assists and 8 rebounds, 14 points. So both Hero plays hits. Jalen Green went on to have a pretty good game yesterday. He finished with 39 PRA, so that one hit. Dylan Brooks, we looked at his 3-pointers made. He finished with 3. So there you go. We got 1, 2, 3, 4 straight plays of over. These are your plays of the day. Kevin Durant, we looked at his RA. We also talked about his points. We like the over 25, but I told y'all that it was at 24 over on Jock Market. So if you played it on Jock Market, he obviously went over that too. But Durant finished with 33 points. He finished with 13 RA. So there's another one. I know Denny Avia did not hit yesterday. He did not come through in the first half. Franz Wagner did go over 3-pointers made, and Anthony Edwards did not finish over 8 first quarter points, unfortunately. So we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 6 out of 8 player props hit. It's fucking good. Now, unfortunately, you could not have played all these in the same lineup because we had 2 Hero plays. But let's say you played one of the 2 Hero plays, Green, Brooks, Durant, Wagner. You went 5 for 5. So we're killing it with the plays of the day. We're killing it. That's back-to-back days of plus positive results. Plays of the day. So 6 out of 8 yesterday, Cutler, with our plays of the day. The day before, we went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 out of 7. It's 12 wins, back-to-back days. Plays of the day, crushing it. All right, let's get some players of the day and let's get the F out of here. All right. First one I see is Ink liking the over. Derek White. Is it 1.5 steals and blocks? Seems right. Next, we have LeBron over his 7 rebounds. And then we have LeBron over 32. We're going heavy on LeBron today. Over 32 PR, 32 and a half PR. We got Vince over first half. Ashley likes his first half points. They were at 7, right? Or 7.5. Porzingis first half PRA. Jim sticking with his Fontecchio over first half points at 4.5. That's a really good line. What else? Mobley, infamous Mel says Mobley over 9 first half PRA. Laurie marking in 32 and a half. What is that, Cutler? What's 32 and a half? That is PRA. Also, is that over or under on marketing? Saints, we're about to dip out, man. I don't know if you're a man or not. It's a bad habit of mine. We're about to dip out. We kick it off at 9 a.m. So set your notifications. Make sure your notifications are on. Make sure you're subbed up to the channel. I go live 9 a.m. Until further notice. My schedule will be changing at some point. Things got little plans. I'm putting the plans on the back burner, but at some point schedule will change. But as of now, 9 a.m. typically run about an hour and a half to 2 hours every day. So we cover a lot. Laurie PR. Okay, cool. Laurie PR, you like the over on that one. And got LeBron in there as well. Look at Queen. Queen, don't be getting in trouble and shit watching stream at work. Possibly done points and assist. I'll put that in parentheses, Mookie. We didn't really dig into his numbers. Sometimes his props are like taken off the board also. I don't know. They just kind of mess with his props a little bit. So I'll put that in parentheses and we can always like add it to the list. But here's what we got for today. Plays of the game. Plays of the day. Derek White over 1.5 blocks and steals. I believe that's at 1.5. LBJ over 7 rebounds. LBJ over 32 and a half points and rebounds. I wish that was his PRA. Vince Williams over his 7. I think it's 7 points in the first half. This is playable up to 7.5 because he needs 8 either way. Porzingis over first half PRA. We like that. Simone Fontecchio over 4.5 first half points. Evan Mobley over 9 first half PRA. And Laurie Markkinen over 32 and a half points and rebounds. We're throwing that in the Discord. Those are our plays of the day. Let's see if we can get, how many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 6 out of 8, 7 out of 8, 8 out of 8. Fantastic results. If we get 6 out of 8 here, that's 6 straight. That's 6 wins 3 days in a row. Awesome work, y'all. Appreciate y'all stopping by. Hit the like button on your way out if you did not get a chance to hit it on your way in. If you're new, if you're watching this on the replay, I appreciate you. Consider subbing up to the channel. Helps me get this out to more people and helps this channel grow. We'll be back tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. sharp, looking to break down a much bigger slate of games. Tomorrow we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 games tomorrow. Should be a lot of fun. I wish y'all all the best of luck.
Hope all your player props respect the damn coin. I'll let the intro, outro roll a little longer. I know you guys like that beat. Until tomorrow's player prop live stream, Chavez is out.